Hi everyone, welcome back again to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise, and this reading will be for the USA political, economy, and health situation that we either may or may not hear about on the news, but it will be the most important things that are working behind the scenes, maybe. So anyway, and anything else that may come up, if I can catch it, I will definitely speak to it. So it'll be for the week of Sunday, January 16th through Saturday, January 22nd, 2022. My goodness. And of course during Mercury retrograde. So if you're interested in those readings, check out my members only videos. I do an in-depth astrological transits, movements, trends for every single week at the family level. Okay, so anyway, with this reading, let me drop the camera down and we'll get going. Okay, so I'm going to start out with the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot by Lo Scarabeo, and I'm going to use this for the economy, but I feel like health is so tied to, you know, because of the pandemic. I feel like that's so tied to the USA's economy. So, you know, I think I might have to kind of merge health and economy. And I can always use the Lenormand for more information if something comes through. Okay, so January 16th through 22nd, 2022. What can we expect to see, to understand, to realize? What will be revealed this week? Okay. So this will be our forces in motion here. Our greatest challenges here. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and just do like an archway around, and I'll do 7 cards and then get them lined up. Okay, and I'll take the 2 off the bottom in case we need it, or just for fun. Over here. Okay. Yeah, darn it. Injustice. Not as many options. Maybe some secrets coming out, though. Okay. Yeah, there we go, something like that. Or actually, you know what I could do, since I do have room, didn't expect to have this much room, these cards are quite large. I'll go ahead and put those 2 at the bottom. Over here. Boy, that's a mix-up of... All right, well... Yeah, okay, so with the 3 of Wands reversed as our, you know, the forces in motion, like these 2 cards are really important when I do this type of a spread. So, yeah, darn it, with the 3 of Wands, this feels like there could be some setbacks, there's a lack of growth. It's like, you know, when it's straight up, your ships are out in the water and you're hoping that they come back in. You've got, you know, quite a bit of enterprise going out, and it can be, you know, to do with like foreign relations and lands across, you know, everything across the water. And yeah, but it came through reverse, so it feels to me like not much progress. And the challenge is with the Knight of Swords is to get anything quickly done. So again, these two cards to me are all about the supply chain demand situation. So that's still, yeah, we're not out from under that yet, and we won't, I don't think we're going to see any change in that this week. So with these two cards together here, well, or even apart, with injustice, or the justice card reversed, of course, this is injustice. This is corruption. This is legal issues. It's challenges, major challenges. So we're going to see with the economy, this is interesting to see, like, well, corruption, of course, that makes sense to me. But maybe there's some legal issues that's going to come out for some of these, greedy people, right? Like the handful of USA billionaires that have their holdings in the Seychelles or Cayman Islands or wherever, in shell companies basically, and maybe they pay personal income tax. I don't know. Elon Musk likes to say he does, but I don't know. I've never seen his tax returns. And I mean, I can't put down people who are trying to innovate and make changes, and I know he's working to get electricity to Texas, because Texas has no regulations. There are no regulations in Texas, so he can start his own energy utility company there, and so more power to him for that. If it keeps people from being out in the cold or having to melt snow to get their water, I'm all for that. But we look at this handful of billionaires who, speaking to this card here, who there aren't that many, and they've created this place where we have limited options, right? And this goes with the supply chain demand as well. But, like if you're Apple, you can get your ships in because you've got the money to, pay the ferryman, so to speak. And meanwhile, other people, mom and pop businesses, are just kind of sunk, waiting, And then back to this like handful of billionaires in the USA that have made, I don't know, what do we say, bank? They've made obscene amounts of profits, during this pandemic. And, they're pretty much recession-proof type of companies, right? So that's what we're seeing here. With the Seven of Cups reversed, it feels like there's some confusion still. It is a lack of choices. It's possible that there's some, like feeling trapped, right? Because you can't do anything about it. We're kind of stuck waiting in limbo for things to get moving again, and that's all, that's all right here. And then, but then with the High Priestess reversed, there could be some secrets that come out. This is interesting. On one level, it is a card of illusion when it's reversed, and hidden agendas, and doubts. So I feel like, I don't know if a secret might come out, but if it does, it would have to do with, and would we see it on the normal news, or would it be something that we kind of have to dig for, or something that comes out, like maybe on YouTube or somewhere else, about, maybe something more comes out about the Paradise Papers. That's very possible. But for the rest of us, we're just, we don't have really have faith. Well, who has? I mean, I grew up in the 60s and 70s, man. I mean, well, I was done growing up by the 70s, but as far as like spiritual growth, he never stopped. But you know, have we ever trusted the man? It's like, no, because they're in it just for the money, and that's part of the problem here. So, with the Three of Swords hanging up here, and well, along with the Seven of Pentacles, you know, here we are with the betrayal. You know, this could be betrayal and doubt in the people in power, right? And then because of the betrayal, it's going to be double betrayal. And as far as what to invest in, as far as in where to have persistence and patience with the Seven of Pentacles, we're feeling like there's a lot of heartbreak. And I think that this probably has to do with the coronavirus. I feel like it just, you know, I don't know how to get away from it, actually. How to get away from I can't leave it out of an economy reading on the United States. Or anywhere else on the planet, for that matter. Yeah. Yeah. So I might do a separate little spread on health. But anyway, but you know, when it comes to health, the Seven of Pentacles is one of those cards about just patience and persistence and hard work, you know, making plans, you know, like this is the primo card of like you go shopping and you have your list and you don't veer off into the aisle with candy and chips and cookies. Right? You just go to the one side where the vegetables are and the one side where, you know, you do your thing. And because you've learned the hard way that if you don't follow the rules that your body needs, it causes heartbreak. So it's like our personal economy here, it feels like. Right? Because everything's an inside job. Everything requires, like if we want more abundance in our lives, we have to make better choices, and we have to come from a place of abundance. You can't create abundance from a place of feeling all the time that you don't have. You'll just create more, you know, I don't have. So it's like a trick. You kind of have to trick yourself and feel like it's illusory. But if you go into all those places where you have your gratitude, you know, just for the simple things, like, oh my God, this pillow feels great. You know, when you lay down, oh, I love my pillow, like that kind of thing, right? I doubt anybody would say that if they bought one from My Pillow Guy, but I didn't, never have. And man, I've tried all different kinds of pillows. But just, you know, the simple things in life, you know, like the bird outside, or maybe you have a beautiful bird in a cage. All the things that you love in your life, the more that you focus on, you know, what you love, the more you'll have of that. So it's the inside job when it comes to managing our own personal finances that will keep us out of like betraying ourselves. With the Three of Swords, it's my self-betrayal card, as well as, you know, heartbreak. On another level, this could be that things come out in the news that talk about everything I've just spoken about, and we feel kind of down and heartbroken and betrayed because of, you know, the facts, like the facts that we've got these greedy billionaires who are not giving back to the extent that they could, and they're just raking it all in, you know. But there are good ones out there too, right? Like Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, what's her name, Mackenzie something, or maybe Mackenzie's her last name. But anyway, she took a big chunk of that cash that she got from her well, it wasn't really a settlement. She was half of the brains in that operation when they started. So she got what her due, and she gave back. She donated a lot. So the good ones are out there. So, but anyway, moving forward with the Three of Pentacles reversed, there's no teamwork in this economy here. And again, this is more about the greedy. This is, with this card straight up or reverse, can be a dark money card, and that's everything I've just given voice to. But on just like straight out economy, level of economy, there's no growth. No growth, no growth. So it doesn't matter if the wages are increased. Inflation is still higher than the wage increases. So that's a major problem. And with the Ace of Wands, it keeps people from wanting to get up and go. It has us in this place a little bit of like, oh my goodness, what do I believe in? What do I do? On just the news level, this would be a delay, and I really do feel like there's more about that supply chain thing this week, so be careful, we might have to make do with things that we don't really like, but then again, when it comes to like, health issues, you have to eat right. You can't just eat junk and expect to feel healthy and feel good. It doesn't work. And then you get to the point where you realize your health is everything. So yay for vertical gardens and hydroponics if you can afford to create that setup or have the space for it, and the lighting and all that you can set up. I mean, it's an investment, but once it's done, and maybe that's the investment that we need to start looking at, because for all of us, like in the old days with the victory gardens. So yeah, because it feels like there's not a lot of faith in things right now. There's some challenges here. But this could just be a simple little bit of delay, a simple bit of, we kind of have missed opportunities on both ends here. But both of these cards can also just be feeling a little trapped and a little bit, like a little bit of bad news. And we want to get up and go with this Knight of Wands here. So I think that the bad news is about the fact that we can't go as fast as we want. We want the big changes. The Knight of Wands is the big changes, and we can't, it's not happening. None of these other cards reflect that is happening. And then with the Lovers reversed, this is my card for learning how to love ourselves through anything. To not get down on ourselves, to do our best. But on another level, this is a card of divorces and arguments and regrets, and some lost love. This doesn't really have anything to do with our economy, but you know what? If the economy is, if we're all a big part of, we the people in our economy, then I feel like there's that possibility that we're just learning to love ourselves through something, and that might be what helps us move forward, is the self-love. Yeah. It just, as far as the economy goes, it doesn't look good for this week. I don't think we're going to see any changes, and I think that's not going to be fun to look at that. It wasn't, was it? My goodness. Let me use this deck here, the Gilded Reverie, Ciro Marchetti's Gilded Reverie, and just look a little bit more into health. And then I'll move into politics, and I'm also going to check out Putin in North Korea too. But yeah. Okay, so just health. Health and maybe some breakthroughs, maybe a new, I'm still waiting on that new vaccine that's supposed to come out from Walter Reed. I keep getting guidance. It's going to be soon, so I don't know if that means it'll be available to everyone or how that will work. Okay, health, USA Health. Well, let's just do 10 cards here. That could be a prescription that's really important. Might be secret now. Okay. So we have the house, the cross, the letter, the key, and the book. And birds, ship, coffin, sun, and the ring. Yeah. Okay. There could be a prescription here that ends what? A burden? Ends a burden? Or this could be, well, communication. This card's all about all types of communications of any type, really. The birds is more verbal. So I feel like this is on the news, verbal news that we see and hear on the news. But I do feel like this is a prescription or a formula of some type that it could just be any kind of information as well. So verbal information. This is my card for the immune system. So something successful about the immune system. This can be a card of, the sciences. The book card, I'm having to put this all into health terms, right? So, so it's like sciences, formulas, something really important that comes through. This is good news, actually. I don't have the scythe here to see that like it's a vaccine jab or whatever, but so this is telling me that it's probably more than that. It could be a pill or some kind of formula. The house card has to do with, like the foundation of our life. But on a health level, it's the entire body. It's your body and soul. It's like the constitution of your body. And with the immune system here, this all makes sense. Okay, so maybe this card is more about the cross. It might be more of having faith that something new is going to come out eventually. Because with the ship, we're in that realm of expanding things in a new way and having a deeper understanding of something. It's a card of change and movement. And it knights over here to the key. The key is always something really important. It's a solution. It's like the yes card that opens up something. And these are really good cards next to it. I believe, for some, this is like a painful ending because maybe they just were vaccine deniers completely and didn't need to be. I mean, I don't mind anybody who doesn't want to get the vaccine because for whatever reason, and maybe they can't. But you got to mask up, and it can't be those cheapo little, what were they calling them? Medical masks or whatever? Hospital masks back in the day? They just don't work. It has to be an N95 mask. So there's information out about that, even though I don't have the mask. The mask card didn't. Let me see what was on the bottom. No, got the owls and the rider. So news, really news that brings in more wisdom. But there is a mask card in this deck. I just don't have it. I mean, it didn't come through. So, but I feel it. I feel like that's the thing, because important news came out about that. Like, if two people are together in a closed environment and they both have N95 masks on, or KN95 masks, the only difference is the straps, But the KN95 masks, if you both have those on, you can be in a room together. Oh, like, who would want to do that? But, for 25 hours before the masks would not work anymore. So that's fantastic. But if one person doesn't, if no one's wearing a mask, this is this is going to be a hospital stay, a painful ending, or unless you've got some super duper immune system that it just doesn't catch anything. But good luck with that, because you're human, right? I mean, tell me you've never had a cold in your life, right? Just go ahead, lie to me. But, okay, so based on these cards, I still feel like, we have this cross to bear, and it is keeping us down, and it is painful, and it is restrictive, and we don't like it. But there's a solution coming, and I believe in science, but, if it's just the science of a good mask, that's fine for me. I'm not saying you got to go get that vaccine, but I'm saying don't go out without a mask, right? And don't let people come over without wearing masks on, unless they live in your house and they don't take their mask off when they go out. So that's the thing. The family burden to follow the prescribed solution, which people are probably figuring out now that there's nothing hidden about it anymore. They're having to educate themselves and then literally commit to doing what's right. Right? Because look at how everything knights here. And the coffin card knighting up here to these two, it's everything I've just said. It has to do with, we can't just lay down and take it. We have to do what's right and protect each other. And that's the movement forward. So that's what's going to come out on the news even more this week. And if people just want to be rebellious about that, I'm still going to pray that they're safe. I don't care. I'm not going to go to that place of like, well, let them suffer the consequences. No, I don't want anybody to die. Okay, next, politics. So this is the little, hold on, let me grab my book here. The maybe Lenormand is what I'm using. All right, and bear with me. I'm going to draw 21 cards. I'm going to do 3 rows of 7, and we'll get a full view of politically what should be happening this week. And then, because of Putin and North Korea, this week's reading will be a little longer, because I can tell I'm pushing 30 minutes already. So bear with me, please. Okay, USA politics. And one more. Okay. Oh boy. There's the jab. it could just be something impulsive too. See, as much as I try to keep these categories separate, that's why I wanted to put economy out of it, because so much would come through. Oops, I do need to move. Hold on. I hope you can still see the numbers up there. I just have to do a little scooch in here to fit everything in. We'll have a really full view of everything. Okay. Well, this could be Russia here. We'll see. Okay, so the first few cards opening up. This is a card of like celebrating and being really happy, but it was also my super spreader card with, the former guy, not really what I call him, but Flump. Yeah, so it might be that there's, but politically, okay, wait, there's some commitment. The pig has to do with abundance, but it could sometimes be greed. But politically, this feels like some celebration with, maybe with allies. Some celebration with commitment, alliances, partnerships, where we are like, abundantly connected. So it's possible that, even though I don't know, do we share a lot of financial resources with Ukraine? Well, to protect us from, they are our ally to protect us from Russia. So I suppose this could be Ukraine here. Reading the four corners, I have again, alliances, clubs, reputation. Maybe it's our USA reputation to be like this abundant land. Well, things are kind of upside down now, aren't they? And that would be putting these two cards together. And then over here with the tree, this is our, the health issues. This is the pandemic. It's also our karma. And it's our systems of government. We've got the government card here. The bear has to do with our power and protection, like being boss, right? It has to do with our strength. It's the money, power, protection card. So I feel like what's coming out on the news this week politically is that there's going to be some talk about, how great we are. But because I've got this conflict card here next to the bear, to me, this is Russia. This could be some painful conflict with Russia, painful ending of a conflict with Russia. There's something broken open here, something shattered. This is our authority. But this could be this, look at that, this painful ending, because we've got the system to, well, I guess I'll just wait till I get to the Putin reading before I say anything more. But he's showing up here. He's showing up here. And last week I had that, remember over here we had that lightning card. And it might have been that I missed, that thing about that really shocking, painful, my brain just doesn't work that way, you guys. But it was an awful terribly painful thing to see, that apartment fire in, was it in New Jersey, I think? I can't remember. And just all these people, children that died. That's just, oh my goodness. So that might have been that, but it also could have been North Korea shooting off a missile. That also happened last week. But okay, let me stick with the 16th through the 22nd, and let me see if I can get some other clues here. So this is a painful ending that nights up here to something we care about, or it could be that we have this system, this governmental system in place that cares, and will end things where people are impulsively doing dark things, because we are committed. These two cards here, see, as much as I try to just break down these categories and just keep this with politics, but I mean, it just all kind of blends together, doesn't it? Because these two cards here are coronavirus to me. The mist and the jab. This is the jab, it's Cupid's little arrow. But the scythe, if the scythe came through, it could be a jab as well. This is definitely a conflict card, like, going to war, battle, on guard, like, right? Yeah. Okay, so, oh, man. There's this need for independence. But there's this attraction to ending. This week there's some attraction to ending. I think it's just this painful conflict with Russia. So I'm just gonna have to read more when we get to it. Just tuning in on just Putin, but he has definitely shown up here, so I don't need to say that anymore. This to me tells me that there's still work, repetitive action taken to try and control, like, super spreading events, and there's some commitment. But then politically too, what's coming through is this commitment to alliances coming out in the news, because this is all right here, and revealing better ways to work with the darkness that within these, like this could be Putin and North Korea, but also within our own party, because this could be, and the little tower here, which is different in the Lenormand, if this is your first time, seeing a Lenormand spread. This card here, it has to do with our alliances, our reputation, our, like, the club, the order that we have within our government. Because remember, it's always the context of the reading, and this is a political reading. So this week we can see lots of work to uphold that. I did hear that Schumer is going to try and hold a vote for voting rights, or they're going to be debating. That's what it is. I don't know if we'll get to a vote, but there will be debating on Monday. I'm sorry, Tuesday. That should be good for Monday's full moon, though. Because it will reveal something. We do have the moon here, and I'm not reading like by the day. I'm just trying to get the whole overview. So let's look at this and look at the full moon. Okay, so politically, the full moon, because it's a moon opposite Pluto, so the moon's always, a full moon is always opposite the sun, but this time it's also conjunct Pluto, because we have Sun conjunct Pluto happening. Goodness, so moon opposite Pluto, the full moon is at 27 degrees. No, I'm sorry, is it 25, 20, what is it? Hold on. It is at 26, 27, yeah. Yeah, the moon's at 27 degrees Cancer. Okay, so, and Cancer rules our homeland. And Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn at the other end would be, people, dark, dark, corrupt people that are just in it for the money. So I think we're going to hear more about that. Something's going to be revealed here under the full moon because this night's here. And it will be kind of a little bit of a conflict. So this could happen anytime because, the days before a full moon and the days after are still, it's all in effect. It doesn't have to be right exactly. If it were right exactly, that would be funny. But if it were, it could be around 3:48 p.m. Pacific time, 6:48 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. But, you don't have to hold fast to that. But anyway, there's some loyalties ending, and this has to do with Putin here. And the full moon, I think, is going to show that painful ending. And no more of him, throwing things around, like, just throwing stuff out there and trying to, seduce people with his bullshit, basically. Yeah, his selfish communications, if I were to just kind of relay this whole thing as Putin, because of the full moon opposing Pluto, I have to go there. It's his communications and the stress that he creates, in this dark, this to me are the oligarchs, the dark, that's what's going on. The oligarchs have had it with him. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Yeah, because all we have to do, all Biden has to do, is cut off his ability to process his wire transfers, money. All that goes through this like SWIFT system, and Biden and I think NATO, and I could be wrong about that. I should be careful what I say. But anyway, he can be kicked. Putin can be kicked out of that, and the oligarchs know that, and they're the ones that, are making the money come through. Putin's just the guy in charge. He's not even a real president. I hate it when people say President Putin, because he's not. He's not. He's installed himself in there and killed off all of his, poisoned and jailed and put him in prison, Navalny, Alexei Navalny. Anybody that runs against them, and I mean, yeah, it's awful. Send lots of prayers to the Russian people. But anyway, this doesn't look good for Putin, and maybe we'll hear something about it this week. Even if we don't, I always trust, when my guides bring me the right cards to show me that something's brewing. So whether we hear or not about it, I believe that this is what's happening. Something will be broken apart and shattered for Putin, because the selfish card, Putin's card, and this broken mirror is a bad card. This could be Putin's system of government is shattered. Wow. Yeah, what else? Okay, let's see. Lots of news coming out. Something's going to be revealed. No, I'm just going to get Putin out of the picture, and something's going to be revealed that maybe shows some greed, but also shows the way that this can also be like, pork prices. But this could be something helpful in these like dark times, cloudy times. This is a card. The clouds is a card of uncertainty, confusion, sadness, depression, gloom and doom kind of stuff. It's also a card of like smoke and mist and all of that. But back to politics, to me, this is, the people who, the obfuscation and subterfuge are the words I like to use in a political reading. So there's something that will be revealed, and it'll be helpful. It could also be the subterfuge of, I really feel like this is all, I just can't get away from Putin and his oligarchs here. And that's their club. I think this is like that bottom line there. Okay. All right. What else? I think that's it. I mean, yeah, that's it. I think what's going to come through, I think there can be, well, if we bring in Schumer and, okay, hold on. Let's take Putin out of it, and North Korea or any other country. Let's try to just stick with USA only, and let me see if there's something else that comes through. Because this could be news about abuses within this clannish kind of good old boys club kind of thing, and like the way Congress people can invest in stocks, and they're greedy. Might be something new revealed about that. Nancy Pelosi hasn't wanted to do diddly squat about it, so that's on her. And she's retiring, I guess, next time, so whatever. But I never wanted to say anything bad about her before, but when I heard that, I was just like, what? But we do have Sheldon Whitehouse and Debbie Stabenow and Katie Porter and many other good ones that are, fighting the good fight. But we have Joe Manchin and Miss Cinnamon. My friend and I call her Cinnamon because we don't even care about spelling her name right. Anyway, she doesn't warrant that much respect. But anyway, news about abuses and how they're just in bed for the money, selfish, impulsive communications. Maybe things being revealed. They're greedy. They're greedy pigs. And they're not loyal. They're dark. So this is Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, I'm sorry. What do I care? These crazy people who are just thinking about themselves and their own family and their own whatever they can bring in. It's all they care about. So, if that's the case, yeah, they've been seduced. They've been seduced by we've got the lobbyists, seduced by the money, and it's dark. There could be that there's some painful ending because of some conflict. Joe Manchin is bought and paid for, and so is Kristen Sinema, and they could be Russian plants. There's that possibility, because they're in the system. But something's going to break down about it. Maybe this is the breakdown of our government because we've got this to deal with, right? But I don't see anything here as far as, I don't have the key. The sun reveals, and it is successful, can be successful, but with all these other cards around it, it's more about, feels to me like more about the abuses are revealed, and there's a lot of talk about it. And all this seduction and selfishness here. Yeah. So painful endings to loyalty. So I would say West Virginia and Arizona are very unhappy. The constituents are very unhappy with those two people. And they are, hanging themselves. But, for the future. But meanwhile, we have to deal with these guys. So battles about power and money, and how do we protect the government, and something's going to break open within the system. Wow. You know what I should do? Let's do it another way. Because now I'm feeling like Schumer in there. Let's use this deck here. And go back to the Gilded Reverie. Oh, sorry, this is getting really long. Okay, so how's Schumer going to do? How are the Democrats going to do in their battle against Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin? How are they going to do in getting the, I'll just do 10 cards as to getting the voting rights taken care of, because otherwise we're sunk. That's what Schumer wants to bring onto the floor to vote, and then that way it reveals, who's actually going to take that hard line. We know, well, maybe there's a couple of, it's possible that there's a couple of Republicans, like maybe Liz Cheney, I don't know, maybe Adam Kinzinger, I don't know. What's going to happen? It's a vote. It's a choice. Wisdom. Stealing, negation, minimizing, and moving forward. Movement, direction, looking more deeply. A solution. And an end. Okay. Might have to draw some more cards, but let's see. So there's the wisdom. Yeah, you know what? He's got a plan. Schumer's got a plan. He's got a plan. Or otherwise he wouldn't. Yeah, I'm sure he's been working on this for quite some time. So anyway, this is wisdom. This is, you notice how we had the birds in the other little deck. In this deck, there's two cards. There's the birds and the. It's the one with the little. Let me see if I can find it for you real quick. It's like a birdhouse, and that would be more stressful communications, anxiety. Notice how there's 2 12s in this deck. But with this card, it's the wise owl that knows what the heck they're doing, and they know how to communicate and organize things and get things going. So he's doing that to look more deeply into anybody who's going to try and minimize a solution going forward. And of course we have the votes here, the Voting Rights Act right here, all right? The choice for the Voting Rights Act and the movement of it. This is a good card. This is the direction they're going towards the wisdom. This is a yes card, and it's a solution card. But this is a painful ending, and this is a no card. So I think what's going to happen this week is just that we're going to see, I think he might get, I'm pretty sure he's going to get that vote on the floor, and we're going to see who takes the higher path and who goes out another door. You can see one, well, yeah, either way. This is a card of choice. This is a card of crossroads. This is a card of making a decision, and it's a turning point because you got to take it. Well, some people could decide not to vote, I guess, but a decision to not make a decision is still a decision. Right? This is how it goes. So I'm feeling like this can be a loss, and this can be a loss. but there's a solution here. If the mice isn't a loss, it could be just seeing the frauds, seeing the ones who are willing to destroy themselves. I mean, it is a card of loss. Both of these cards are. Yeah. And it's a card of stress. Maybe it's just stress. Because this is a good card. All of these are neutral. Neutral. This is no. All these other cards are neutral. This is a yes card. I would say I'd have to call this more of a yes card because it's not neutral like the birds. Yeah, darn it. I can't say what's going to happen other than he's going to, I really feel that Schumer's going to bring the vote to the floor. And you guys are probably like, yeah, we knew that. Okay, sorry. All right. Here's a deck that I'm going to use because it was, I ordered it off of an Italian website, Tarocco Studio, but when it came, it was from Russia. So this is my Putin deck. Okay. All right, how's it going to go with Putin, Ukraine, and Biden? Biden is my King of Cups card, but I'm focusing more on Putin. How is this? Oops. How is this going to go for Putin? How's his selfish little plan going to go for him? What's your future, Vlad? Okay. 10 cards. I don't know why. That's what I heard. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Okay. All right. The Moon, Delusion, Two of Cups, Partnership, Dream On. Yeah, he's trying to manipulate partnerships. This is one of those weird decks that I don't read reversals in it because there's no reason to. The cards are just too blatantly either good or bad. There's not much in between with these cards. I don't read them on a spiritual level. I read them on a very mundane. Well, I mean, I feel like spirit is infused in the mundane, or the mundane's infused with spirit as well, but it's just still, I feel like no reversals with this deck. Yeah, oh yeah, look at that, man. Okay, so this is just Putin, right? Nobody else. It's that Three of Swords. And this is such a weird deck that I couldn't figure out what the the pips were, the minors. So I had to go through this little book, and thank goodness, I think it shows somewhere in the beginning. I don't know. I figured it out. Oh no, I had to go to their website. That's right. And I wrote in what they are. Except for the majors. You don't need it. But anyway, he's under this delusion that he can actually get what he wants within partnership. Look at this. I mean, just look at that. Coming out and grabbing him by the tie. Oh my goodness. If this is not sanctions on him, nothing else is, right? Because here we have the internet and the the noose around his neck around sanctions that has to do with we're in the Knight of Cups territory, so the Knights are always movement, and Cups have to do with relationships and on the water, right? So anything he wants to do as far as moving money and goods and all of that has to go through that SWIFT system that I was talking about before. Yeah, and so that's what will get him. His relationships, this is the Lover's card. Well, it's doesn't work well there. I don't know if this is like generally relationships in Russia or what, because, well, on one level, they're tied together at the hip. That's weird, isn't it? Tied together at the hips, but do they love each other? Oh, I get it. Look at that. Whoa. They have their arms around themselves, and the lesson here is self-love. So do you love yourself enough to get in a healthy relationship? Not him. No way. No way. So he's at odds with all relationships. These would be his oligarchs, right? And this is the Six of Cups, where he's wishing for when the days were so good that he could just, think of everybody having everything they wanted. It's like, no, it's the past. So his relationships in the past are in major, well, look out, the little tiny heart, like kind of like the Grinch needed to grow a heart. But this is a Three of Swords. So he has disharmony from past in his relationships and past relationships. Now, he can dream on that he's still the authority. These cards are proving that the oligarchs are the ones who they're about ready to throw him out of the nest. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. So he's in delusion about how he can grow. In the Three of Wands, that's usually the cards, the card where it's like the ship is, the little ships are out there. The merchant has put everything out on the ships, and he's hoping that something comes back in, and it has to do with progress and, of course, growth. But look at this. This guy's eating his own growth, right? Look at that. Wow. And they're wanting to kick him out of the nest, and he can dream on as to whether or not he's still in any authority, and he's not, and he's worried. He's worried. He's defensive. And look, just look at who's that in the background? This is the guy that controls him, right? Or the forces that control him. So yeah, not good. Not good for that guy. What was on the bottom? Hold on. Defeat. Oh my goodness. Defeat and optimism. So the Five of Swords and the Ace of Wands. Yeah, his optimism is look what's coming for him. Oh my God. Okay. All right. That's Pooty. Okay, so because of oh no, let's use a deck of character. I was thinking I could use that one for what's his name, but what's his name? What's his name that's really not alive? I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to use a deck of character, and I'm going to do 5 cards for the characters, and then 5 cards for the tools, and 5 cards for the place they're going to end up. And this is I just have to tune into North Korea because I'm guessing it's the sister and other people in the military that are in charge. I don't know for sure that Kim Jong-un is dead, but those photos I've seen don't, the new ones, they don't really look like the guy's ears are different. He looks kind of like him, but not really. So with the characters, I'm going to see what's going on with who's in control. Who's in control of North Korea. And based on that, we'll see what their future is as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Okay. Let me do that. Now I'll do the tools. So what tools do they really have at their disposal, and how well do those tools work? And that'll also show the future. Okay. Characters, tools, and then now we have the places. Oops. Okay, make sure these are mixed up a little bit better. Okay, that's good enough. I draw them from a fan anyway. I don't know why I even shuffle. Okay. Oh, goodness. Oh. Well, she's quite... Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I don't... You know, Lisa and Debbie and I read a little bit in my last live stream, and I think Lisa got this card. I didn't use the deck of character. I can't remember what I used and what I got, but oh my goodness. I hope all these will fit. Oh yeah, this is not going to go well for them at all. I'm just, we really need to pray for South Korea, right? Because they're right there. And the people of, I mean, I don't see that the guy, I don't feel like Kim Jong-un is alive. I don't see it here. But also, it's so sad what they've done with this, this Un whatever dynasty has done. Because they're involved with all types of black market, slave trading type of things, and they kill their own people. They starve their own people to keep the money for themselves. That's what the dynasty does. And I believe that is probably what's going on here. They think they've got all this control over the masses, and like the masses love them, but this is all this, I'm feeling this is more like the Wizard of Oz, like the guy behind the curtain, literally the guy behind the curtain writing up. And this could have to do with Mother Russia, because we've got the bear claw here. Yeah, oh my goodness. So Russia is involved with this dynasty. Wow. So now we know who's in charge, but I don't think it's I don't think Kim Jong-un is alive. It's other people in the. This could be the military. And this could be the fake, sister, the sister that's like, fake in charge, but she's not really. She's not really, because it's some other, yeah, no. Okay. The tools they have are to start a war, throw fuel on it, to try and strike a chord that shows that maybe they're the ruler, right? But really, I think it's Putin that's in charge over there. And this could also be like a calculated, they're calculating what they can get away with Putin. And then where it's going to land, I guess none of all this really matters as much other than we've got story. And you guys, you feel free to drop in the comments, well, with any of my readings, no matter what tool I use or decks I use. I feel free to throw in what you get, because everyone is psychic and intuitive, seriously. And especially with cards like these, I have gotten some of the best comments from you guys. I really love them. But anyway, the place that they're going to end up within the world, on the stage of the world, they're going to be in the dumpster, and they are sinking their own ship, and they are going to end up alone. And in the future, maybe they're going to resurrect themselves somehow, but I don't think so, because I feel like this is all Putin. This is all Putin. And I do remember doing some research years ago where Putin wanted to, where I realized like why Putin is so involved over there is because there's this waterway in between Russia and North Korea that lets Putin's ships go through. Because the war card is up here, well, I can't say these control. I'm just, because we have categories, right? Remember, this is characters, tools, and places. But this sunken ship knights to the claw here. So here's our proof here that Putin just really wants to control that waterway, and he'll fight for it, right? But there's the war. The war. It looks to me like the war is more with Putin. Like Putin will just do what he wants to do, and maybe we don't. Maybe the USA doesn't have to worry about it at all, other than the fact that his missiles are getting further. They're moving further and further towards Japan. Now, if we bring Japan into it, then we do have, they have their own navy, and because remember, this is the outcome for North Korea. And this would be a way to protect South Korea, where it's just more in the water, I would hope. You know what I mean? I hope. But for North Korea, they are going to end up as being all alone on an island like that. With a sunken ship, the ship sunk, and they're alone on an island because they put themselves in the dumpster with the world because of their military fueling the war. I mean, they're doing it to themselves. They've done everything to themselves, so. Wow. Okay. Well, that's all I got, you guys. Sorry this is so long. And hopefully I'll have time to get some timestamps in there for you. So, okay. Thanks, you guys. Take good care. Bye.